4 massive warships, each a floating fortress capable of unleashing the world's most advanced stealth fighters, are now prowling the Pacific right next to China's backyard. Alongside them, their decks bristle with missiles, crews run live fire exercises, and jets rehearse lightning-fast strikes on targets at its sea and on land. The US Navy isn't alone. They've brought allies from across the globe, forming a steel wall on the high seas. The question isn't if this is a warning. It's who that warning is meant for. The Indo-Pacific is now the most contested stretch of ocean on Earth. It's the center of global trade, home to some of the world's busiest shipping lanes and a flashpoint for military rivalries. The United States, together with NATO and Indo-Pacific allies, is answering with one of the largest combined naval operations we've seen in years. A message of unity, strength, and readiness. This isn't a parade. The drills are designed to mimic real-world combat scenarios as closely as possible. Crews practice engaging swarms of small, fast-moving boats, the kind used in harassment tactics by hostile forces using rapid-fire 20mm and 25mm automatic cannons, as well as 50-caliber machine guns mounted along the decks. These kill-chain exercises test detection, targeting, and instant engagement, often within seconds. Long-range firepower is also on display. Guided missile destroyers and cruisers launch Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles at simulated enemy bases hundreds of miles away. Precision weapons capable of striking radar sites, missile batteries, and command posts before the enemy can react. Vertical launch system cells are also used to fire SM-6 dual-role missiles, able to hit both incoming aircraft and ships at extreme ranges. Other drills focus on anti-ship warfare with Harpoon and naval strike missiles launched against simulated hostile vessels. Using a mix of shipborne radar, UAV surveillance, and satellite targeting data, the strike groups coordinate attacks from multiple angles to overwhelm defenses. Even the undersea fight is practiced. Helicopters and surface ships drop sonar buoys, tow passive arrays, and deploy lightweight torpedoes to track and engage enemy submarines operating in deep waters. High above Allied aircraft provide overwatch and simulate strike coordination, ensuring that every missile, cannon, and torpedo launch fits into a single unified battle plan. At the heart of this deployment is the USS George Washington. This isn't just a ship. It's a floating air base powered by nuclear reactors capable of sustaining 30+ knots for months without refueling. On her deck, F-35 Lightning, 2 stealth fighters sit armed and ready. Backed by an air wing that can reach deep into contested territory, she sails as the centerpiece of a carrier strike group flanked by a guided missile cruiser and a destroyer. Ships bristling with Tomahawk cruise missiles, standard air defense systems, and anti-UB marine weaponry. Alongside her is the USS America, officially classified as an amphibious assault ship. In reality, she's a mini carrier. Her deck purpose-built for short takeoff F-35 jump jets and transport helicopters. She's a versatile platform able to launch air strikes, deploy Marines, or serve as a command center for joint operations from across the Atlantic. The Royal Navy's HMS Prince of Wales brings British firepower to the Pacific. This state-of-the-art carrier carries her own F-35 stealth fighters, guided missile escorts, and a battle group trained for global deployment. Completing the lineup is the Japanese carrier JS Kaga. Once a helicopter carrier, she's now undergoing conversion to operate F-35s, part of Japan's rapid military modernization. Her mission: defend Japan's far-flung islands and support Allied operations in the region. The power here isn't just in the ships. It's in the unity they represent. Alongside the US, UK, and Japan, the Norwegian and Spanish navies are part of the formation. The Spanish frigate ESPS Méndez Núñez recently trained with the Kaga before rejoining the British carrier strike group. Norway brings advanced anti-UB marine warfare capabilities, enhancing the group's ability to detect and neutralize undersea threats. This interoperability is hard to achieve. Different languages, tactics, and technologies, but here it works. Every move, every drill is coordinated across multiple command centers, proving these fleets can fight as one. In June, China sent 2 aircraft carriers east of the US-led defensive line, a show of strength. For years, Beijing has been expanding its reach by building and militarizing artificial islands across the South China Sea, complete with runways, radar stations, and missile batteries. Now with 4 Allied carriers in the Philippine Sea, this is the counter-punch. The location is deliberate. Close enough for China to see, but in international waters. It's a reminder that the Indo-Pacific is not one nation's domain. Both sides know the other is watching. Every radar sweep, every deck launch is tracked by satellites, high-flying reconnaissance planes, and U.S. Navy P-8 Poseidon patrol aircraft specialized in hunting submarines, spotting surface ships, and mapping every movement below and above the waves. This is deterrence through presence. And it's as much about psychology as it is about firepower. Chinese naval activity in the region hasn't stopped. The People's Liberation Army Navy frequently sails destroyers, frigates, and intelligence-gathering ships through nearby waters, shadowing Allied formations from a distance. At times, these vessels close in just enough to signal their presence. A quiet reminder that China is watching every move and can bring in its own carrier groups or missile-armed warships if tensions escalate. These exercises send a clear signal the United States and its allies are prepared to fight together anywhere, anytime. Whether that's enough to keep the peace or a step toward confrontation will depend on what happens next. The only certainty is that the world's attention is now locked on the Western Pacific. And if you want to stay ahead of the headlines and global military power, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell because what's happening out here could change the world.